How do you kidnap the same child twice, right? Under the nose of her parents and the FBI? In 1970s Idaho, the Brobergs thought that they found a brother in Robert Berchtold. He was the pillar of the community, a church man, a family man, and the perfect neighbor. But B wasn't just a friend. He was a master manipulator who spent years systematically dismantling a family's defenses. He used affairs, fake alien missions, and psychological warfare to convince a 12-year-old Jan Broberg that the fate of the world depended on her silence. Today, we're unraveling one of the most bizarre and heartbreaking cases of grooming and brainwashing in American history. This is a story where the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's more dangerous. This is another episode of True Crime and Other Shit. Hi, hello to everybody in the listening world. I'm your girl Cass. This is your boy Eddie, and this is another episode of True Crime and Other Shit. How do you do if you are new? And welcome back if you ain't. So, today we're going to be talking about Jan Broberg, but before we get into that, we do want to give you an update on the Kendra case. I know we promised a bonus episode, but y'all, it just didn't work out. Okay. We still in the beginning stages of this. This is not our full-time job yet, so we have other things to do. So,
Correct.
Cornell, do you want to give the update?
So we got a couple of updates here. We're gonna start with pretty much again the initial case. Let me see here. So I have it here. Back in 2022, I believe that we talked about it last time. Was it 2022 or 2021? Give me 1 second here.
When the case was reopened?
Yeah, when it was reopened by
19 Ashley Polk?
Ashley Polk in 2021. So 2021, Ashley Polk reopened the investigation because she became the new sheriff of Londes County. You're from Georgia. I'm about to say you're around Georgia, so you know a little bit. Londes. So yeah, so she became the new sheriff. She opened up the case. However, by 2023, the beginning of 2023, she found that there was no, huh?
Ashley's a man.
That really be blowing. I'm not gonna lie to you. That'd be taking me out of it because like every time I be looking at it, and I be like, oh, Ashley. I had a neighbor, Miss Ashley. She was a very nice woman. However, getting back to the case,
So you think Ashley and you go straight to her?
automatically is Miss Ashley. If you listening to this, how you doing? It's always good to hear from you. However, Ashley, he looked into the case. He found out that there was not enough evidence to make it conclusive that there was that it was a murder. He still ruled it as a suicide. Yeah, he still ruled it as a suicide, and the family, of course, took it to court and they sued. They sued the federal GBI Georgia Bureau of Investigations, so the state bureau. They sued them for $1 billion. And the judge looked into it. Here's the funny part for me that I wasn't really understanding about it, because the judge who ruled over it, let me see here about the federal judge who looked into it, Judge Sarah Garrity, I can't remember, noted when she looked into it, there was a lot of inconsistencies about the initial investigation, and going into like all the. You remember how we talked about that it was tampered when they initially got there. The evidence was tampered with. The body was moved. There were shoes that were not collected as evidence that should have been collected as evidence. Even after finding that, she still ruled that. Let me see here. Despite her concerns over some of the family's claims, she ruled that the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, could not be part of the lawsuit because it was immune under the 11th Amendment. Similarly, the judge found that the Lowndes County was not properly served within the 90 days of the complaint being filed, just stating that pretty much it's kind of procedural wise that they dismissed the case, so the $1 billion has pretty much been taken off. They were dismissed from the $1 billion lawsuit federally and pretty much within the state. Just recently, within the last 2 days, though, we had some big major news about it. So what they're doing is they want to try to see if anybody can come to justice. So if you do know about this case, if you did go to the high school and you heard rumors, they have a $500,000 reward out.
Yeah, that's a $500,000 reward. Like, that's some money that's significant. So if you know something, it might be worth to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I heard rumors of like why. Again, like I said, these are rumors. I've talked to some people that also investigated the case. They said that the fight, there was not just one person like how we thought it was. There was multiple people that was initiating the fight. Maybe even two brothers. I think were you the one that talked about maybe there
Yeah,
was two brothers?
I said that. Also, there was some guy on YouTube who was trying to tell me that that was not true. I said, I'm not stupid. Okay, I got a degree in this. Y'all see it. Yeah, I'm not stupid, baby. I know what I'm doing. Okay. So,
So yeah, and then it's probably all started over a girl is what was also assumed. Again, I said this is all assumed, rumors and everything else. But if you do have any factual evidence, $500,000 has now been put up for information regarding the case to bring it back to light.
and in Esta Economia, I know you need it. So somebody please say something.
$500,000 would not be bad to have, but please don't bring false information, only the truth. This is
Yeah,
not
if
the
you have
side
false,
story.
false information, get that out of here. Put that on Substack or something. Like, we don't give a shit about that. We want to know the truth. So,
Exactly.
all right. So this week we're going to jump into this case. You guys may have seen the documentary on Netflix. Eddie did not watch it until recently, and
I
I
usually don't
think
put my dirty laundry out there. That's crazy.
I
Anyways,
didn't
go
even.
ahead.
I just said you watched it until recently. You haven't watched it before, have you?
I didn't watch. Actually, you know what's crazy? I actually did. I just didn't know that it was like
Probably
it
in
came
the
out when it first came out on Peacock. I seen the film on Peacock, which that
Oh
was
no,
kind
no,
of
that's
wild.
different. It's different than that documentary. It's not the same thing, but it's a show like a limited series based on that.
Yeah, it was a dramatization of
Okay, so
everything that
you
happened.
knew
So
about it.
I seen that. I just didn't realize that those cases were merged until I started watching the documentary. I said I heard about this. Actually, I seen it, and it was very crazy, very wild.
So we're gonna run it down for y'all who don't have time to watch the documentary or do not want to. We are gonna do it for you. So are you ready, Eddie?
Yeah, very much so.
Let's get into it. All right. So, in June of 1972, Mary Ann Broberg was the chorister for their church, and she was leading the music on one Sunday, and she looked down into the congregation, and she saw a family that she had never seen before. And she spoke to them, and she realized, oh, this guy, Robert Berchtold, he has a lot of similarities to my Robert, her Robert Broberg. They're both fathers. They're both of the Mormon faith. They both have their own businesses. Like they could relate on so many things. So she goes home and Mary Ann tells her husband, she's like, I met this really nice guy at church and their family. His wife Gail is super nice and they have 5 kids. And like some of them are our daughter's age. So this is super exciting. So of course they meet and thinks that he has found his best buddy. He thinks he has found his bro because he's like, all right, we can relate on so many things. Nobody understands what it's like to raise a daughter, especially multiple daughters. Like, this is dope. So then the wives became best friends and the kids' best friend, and everybody pretty much had a best friend all the way down. And it was like the perfect little bestie family situation. B would come pick them up on a Sunday, and everybody would say, oh, it's going to be a great day. And, it seemed like such a nice guy. Everybody liked hanging out with him. And he loved playing games with the kids and, building little blocks and stuff like that. So he was the fun dad. But then everybody starts noticing he's paying a little little too close attention to Jan. So Jan remembers that he was giving her pet names and only her pet names. She said the one that really stuck out to her was Dolly. He always called her Dolly. But her parents noticed and that he was paying kind of a little too close of attention to Jan. But Mary Ann said it didn't really bother them that much, and they thought maybe we're just being a little overprotective. But Jan says she did not feel unsafe. She did not feel scared or worried. So they kind of just let it slide. So this is where it all begins. So I'm going to do a lot of jumping around. So pay attention and rewind if you need to, because this is a lot. So shit got crazy on October 17th, 1974. Mary Ann got a call from Berchtold, and she said, I would like to take Jan horseback riding down in American Falls. Would that be cool? I mean, American Falls was not too far from them. They lived in Pocatello, Idaho. So I think I looked it up. It was about like a 30-minute drive. Nothing crazy.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Right. Like, and if it's across town, then whatever. And he's been, she's taken her places before. Why would today be any different? But there was something in Mary Ann that was just like, I don't know. So he pulls up to the house, and Jan is so excited to go. She's like, yes, I get to fucking ride horses. Every little girl, especially around this age, riding horses? Yeah. What? That's so exciting. And he pulls up to the house, and Mary Ann made every excuse for her not to go. She's like, well, it's a school night, and tomorrow you have piano and stuff like that, so maybe not today, maybe like another time. And B says, well, how about this? How about I just pick her up from piano tomorrow, and then I can take her horseback riding? Which is such predatory behavior, by the way. Learn the signs, people. Watch. But, so the next day, well, Janice first, she's begging her mom, and she's like, please, Mom, can I go? Can I go? And she's like, okay, fine, but have her back in time for dinner before Bob gets home for dinner. So he says, I'll have her back. Don't worry about it. So the next day they go. And Jan, she's just a kid who wants to ride horses, but she's in the car. She's all excited. And he said, hey, don't forget to take your allergy pill before we go to the horses. So Jan takes them, and they went. No big deal. But now, looking back, we realize that they were some sort of sleeping pill. I'm guessing they might have been like a Benadryl, and we know a child cannot withstand the effects of Benadryl. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, I had an allergic reaction to something. I had hives all over my body.
Yeah.
My mom gave me a Benadryl, and she said, don't go too far. It was like, you can go on the front porch, or you can go to the backyard. That's it.
Yeah.
And I remember I sat down. It was around Halloween because I think I was sitting next to the pumpkin that we had out. I knocked out right on top of that pumpkin.
Immediately?
On the front porch.
Dang.
I was down bad.
As a kid that didn't take medicine growing up, so it was like, I never got to see the effects of it. I didn't know it was hitting like that.
That was the only time we ever took medicine is if we were sick, or if you have a random allergic reaction, which I was the child that always had something going on with my skin.
You're a sickly child. Yeah.
I wasn't really a sickly child. I just I had skin allergies. And still to this day, I will break out in hives if I've been out in the pollen too much, just stuff like that, just regular allergies.
Girl, that's what I mean by all right. So where I'm from, when we say sickly child, you the child that we got to put you in a boat. You ain't coming outside too much.
No, that was my cousin. My cousin, he was the sickly child. He was the one who couldn't do nothing. He always had to be inside and stuff like that. So he's like, I might as well learn how to do something. I understand. I'll go
have fun in here.
Play guitar or something. So that's how that happened. But so wait, where did I go?
So you were talking about pretty much they went horseback riding, you took a Benadryl.
Okay.
Yep.
So Jan says she doesn't remember falling asleep. She doesn't remember the drive there. She doesn't really remember anything. But around 9 p.m., Jan still wasn't home. And Marianne is getting worried. And Gail, this is Robert Berchtold's wife, she was worried. And she said Marianne wanted to call the police. But Gail said, just give it some more time. So they waited. Thursday passed.
Thursday.
Friday passed. Then Bob said, Marianne, I think we need to call the police. And I'm over here like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, yeah, you need to call the fucking police.
He only got one of your kids? Yeah.
Huh?
He only got one of your kids and he been gone for that long? Come on now. Come on now.
No. Call the police. So then the police said you need to ask the FBI, but the FBI, it was the weekend, so they didn't answer the phone. And they said if you need an immediate assistant, call the Montana police to get involved. And Marianne is like, well, I don't really want to bother them if, it's not really anything serious. So she does not call. She doesn't call the FBI. She doesn't call the police. She don't call nothing. So 5 days have passed. So now here we are. It's October 22nd, 1974, when FBI agent Welsh gets a call. He's been an agent for about 6 years now, so he's pretty experienced. He's about mid-level, almost senior. But he went straight to the Brobergs' house as soon as they called him. They learned more about Robert Berchtold. He looks so good on paper, though. He's a businessman. He's a father. He's a member of the LDS church. Not FLDS, but the LDS. There's a difference, and we will probably get into that in our, not next episode, but the next episode after that.
Oh, buddy. Okay.
Yeah. It's on the list, Eddie.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
She said it's on the list. Go ahead.
Don't be reading.
So first of all, we're about to start a book club because she's lying to y'all. I do read a lot. Actually.
I know you read often.
However, also on
Don't
top
you
of
have
it,
a book?
yes, I do.
Would you like to talk about it?
We're going to talk about it later, but right now we got to stay focused on the case. We got to stay focused on the case.
Well, okay, this is what we'll do. I'll read the book, and then we'll start having book club because everybody wants to join the book club. So we'll do that.
Okay.
And we won't limit it to true crime. We'll branch out.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, this man is a member of the church, and no foul play was suspected by the parents. But they're like, Welsh is like, no, bro. He kidnapped your daughter. And then he's like, no, he just took her on a little adventure. It's nothing that serious. Like, please don't say that. Like, he didn't kidnap her. He said, ma'am, your daughter is not here, which means she's gone. And you don't know where she is when she's coming back. That means that he didn't kidnap your daughter. And they were like, well, by God. And I'm like, wow.
So wait, which trip was this? Was this the Mexico trip or the one where they went to the hotel?
Mexico.
Oh.
I'm jumping around.
You are, because, buddy, there was a lot that went on with that one, buddy.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to get into it later, but I'm going to show you the events that led up to all this other shit. That's why I'm jumping around. There's a method to my madness.
I'm going to trust your method, because I was like, yeah, Go ahead, and I'm going to tell you what I found, too. Go ahead.
Okay, so they interviewed Gail Berchtold, and this leads me to believe that Gail knew a lot more than what she was letting on, because she immediately says, well, we have an RV in storage. So the agent went to look, and the RV is gone. So now this calls for a thorough investigation. They found B's car with blood on the window, and the window was broken from the inside out, not the outside in, which leads me to believe that B was going to use this excuse like, oh, we were robbed. Also, there's a ton of blood everywhere, because I believe that he broke it, like, with his arm. So, craziness. There's no sign of him anywhere, and the family was devastated for 3 weeks. And friends were stopping by and showing support, and they said, I don't think that B would ever hurt her. But, we do hope for the best. We hope the best outcome out of this situation. We're here if you need anything, as a community does. But Mary Ann and Bob were still so shocked, and so was the rest of the community. They were like, we didn't really see this. Like, we've known B. He doesn't do stuff like this, So at this time, and I don't want to say the word because I don't know if we'll get, like, in trouble for it. So I'll just say P-files. So P-files were not really normalized at that time, and nobody really knew anything about them. That was like just something that just didn't happen, or if it did happen, like nobody knew anything about it.
Very
Um,
right.
you said what?
Even the crazy part is even the FBI agent was like, yeah, no, it's so
I've
much
never
under
seen
wrap that we
anything
don't
like
even
it.
mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, we don't even mention it inside of like the FBI, which I feel is crazy because after all the cases I had uncovered, y'all don't come across it that often. I've seen a lot
It's
myself.
1970 though. Like we're still figuring shit out.
Girl, go ahead though. Go
It was
ahead.
happening. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't happening, but it was probably something that was extremely underreported.
Okay, you know what? I give you that. That's a very true statement.
Because a lot of
Very
parents,
true
they
statement.
feel like guilty because that happened to their child, and they
Yeah.
feel like, and a lot of people like to blame the parents, so they are probably just severely underreported, and it's probably not taught in school. Like when I was in school, y'all see it, we had a whole unit on that and victims and victim pooling and stuff like that. So like it's taught now, but I definitely don't think it was taught then.
Okay, I can see
But
that. I ain't gonna lie.
But like you said, Welsh was just so shocked by this behavior. He said every time he started looking into the case, he would just get the creeps. And he just said his skin would start crawling, and as a man should be, because he's like, I just don't understand. What would you want with a little girl? You know what I'm saying? But apparently, he's even tried to get two more little girls in the community before the families decided to shut him out. But what they didn't know is that B was willing to destroy anything and everything in his path to get what he wanted. So let's backtrack for a second. And I want to show y'all all the stuff that led up to this and all the attempts that this man took. And there's
I must
attempts.
say, if there ever needed to be a master class written about manipulation and how to play chess, that man needs to be called upon immediately. He can't be called upon now for reasons that we'll talk about later. But that man definitely was running a master class on how to manipulate a community, a family groups.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. He is
I,
extremely manipulative. Like the tactics that he used were insane.
like you have to
Like
be
I had
kidding.
to
This out
consult.
for years, dog, for years.
Yeah, I had to consult my cousin on this one. In case you guys didn't know, my cousin is a therapist. She is licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina. So if you need her information and you're looking for somebody to talk to that's safe, hit me up and I will give you her information. And she will be happy to talk to you because mental health is important. But, anyways, so this is one of the things that like really set me off. So, Susan and Jan, the sisters, they shared this big room down in the basement. And they always would talk about, well, when I get older, I want us to have separate rooms, but I still want to like live, like, I just want like a wall or whatever. And so for some reason, B was down there and he's like, you know what, girls? You know what would be awesome if you guys had your own rooms. You're getting older. I think that you guys definitely could, use your own rooms and have some more space.
And that's the
But
crazy part. That's the crazy part. Because they didn't have the idea. They didn't have the idea of separate rooms. They were perfectly fine with what they had.
they were fine with it for now. They were like, when we get older, yeah, I want my own
Yeah, I mean,
space. They're still young. Like, of course,
he's the one who brought up the whole like, oh yeah, separate because like they've been in the same room for so long. It was like, oh okay,
like,
cool.
their whole lives.
Yeah, so they've been fine with it. And they're like, I mean, of course, like you everybody thinks like, oh yeah, when you get older and like, oh yeah, like we laugh and we joke about like, oh yeah, we grow up, we want to have like our best friends all stay in the same neighborhood or something like that, or
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? So like, but you,
I don't
cause you
want that.
what you want to be separated but close. Like we still want the community, but we don't gotta be
Yeah.
all up in each other's business. Like
Exactly.
that's exactly how it went. But he came in here and said, yeah, no, actually, think about it. You don't like your current living situation. Manipulation is crazy with him.
And then also, this is a super common manipulation technique, and this goes for any type of relationship that is abusive or anything. The abuser will always try to isolate you from your family, friends, everything, because they want to get you to alone. And when your world is only this big, they control the entire narrative and they feed you what they want you to know.
Isn't that how cults start?
That's how cults start. And we know I love a good cult. I can't wait to cover this other documentary. I love a good cult, man. Because how y'all get into that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
You've been saying that for 5 episodes lately. He was like, yeah, how you get
how
into
y'all
it?
get into that shit?
I know you can't wait to go through the cults.
Let me know if y'all want me to do David Koresh and the Branch Davidian.
I feel like we gotta have a whole month dedicated to cults. Like let's
Cult
make
month. Let's do it. Okay, when do you want to do it?
shoot. Why not next month?
My birth month? Of course.
Oh, call it a
Cults.
birthday treat. Call it a
Yes.
birthday treat. Yeah, yeah.
Yay, Colts. Woo! Okay, but we got a couple of episodes where we got to get in. No, we got one more, and then we can start on the Colts. That'll be good. Okay, perfect. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You see. Boom.
So, like you said, he comes in and he's like, y'all hate y'all's living situation. Let me fix it for you. So he comes in and he builds a wall. And this is something that also bothered me. And I don't know if this is just because I'm a Southern woman or not. But you let another man come into your house and call the shots?
I'm gonna put it like this. If all of a sudden, because I'm pretty sure, let's be real here, it's not that he went to the family. And if you're a manipulator, right? Think about this. If you're a manipulator, I'm not gonna go to the parents and be like, hey, they want to request a wall. He told them to go ahead talk about it for a very long time. Hey, like, hey, why don't y'all just go ahead and tell your dad that you want to build a wall? Because you got to remember, he's a construction worker. Like, he owns a hardware store. So it's only going to make sense to the dad's mind to, oh, you know what? Like, let's get in a conversation. He's not slow. So they get to talking to their dad about, oh, dad, we want separate rooms, X, Y, Z. Then next thing you know, all of a sudden him and his best old pal, buddy old pal, is talking about, yeah, man, you know, the girls really want to they keep bugging me about like building a wall and X, Y, Z. Hey, you know what? I own a construction store. I can build this no problem for you, buddy. Manipulation is crazy. Again, I say manipulation is crazy. You gotta have that mastermind class because he was playing chess, not checkers, through this
That's
whole
right.
thing. I gotta give it to him. He did, yeah, like for a crazy mastermind. When we talk about evil villains, he's up there.
He's definitely up there.
He's up there.
But
Yeah.
anyways, this is just an excuse to separate. But also, so the wall is built. And then shortly after that, they decided to go on a camping trip together. You heard about the camping trip, right?
Is that where he took like the family? Like I think
Yeah.
this time he took like the
The whole
whole
family
right?
was there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he took her on a camping trip, and Jan says she wakes up and she remembers feeling weird, and she says that her panties were around her ankles, and she realized that B was right next to her. And so, a confused child, she wakes up and she looks at him and she says, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And he said, I don't know. Like, you were moving around and talking in your sleep and stuff. Maybe you just got uncomfortable and you wiggled yourself out of them. And she's like, Okay, well, I guess that's reasonable. Only because this is a man in her life that people
Who she
trust.
trusted.
And
Yeah.
she sees her father trusting this person. She sees her mother trusting this person. She sees this person in her church, all of her safe places. He's everywhere. He's got her surrounded. And he tells her this, and she automatically assumes this is a safe adult. Why wouldn't I believe him? She did not want to believe that this man would ever do anything to hurt her. So then, in June of 73, Jan was allowed to go on a family vacation with the Berchtolds to Seattle, which she's traveled with them before. So that, the family didn't see anything wrong with that. But when she got back, B said that he told everybody that Jan was acting weird. She was sitting in her seat, and all of a sudden she starts rocking back and forth and saying strange things. And everybody's like, Jan, are you okay? And so then B rushes in like Captain America, and he's like, oh my God, I need to get this child back to the room because this child is obviously sick. There is something wrong with this child. So he scoops her up and he carries her back to the room. And Jan says she remembers fading in and out of consciousness. And then she said she remembers when she woke up, she saw B naked. And she was like, okay.
So my thing was this right here. With all these family trips, is he taking all the girls or just this one daughter? Because like as like I'm not a father, but as a man, if I had a daughter or like what I'm saying, why are you either A, why all of a sudden why you have this interest towards
Yeah.
any
So
of my
remember, his daughters were best friends with Jan too.
I remember that. But however, you also said that each one kind of lined up with one of his daughters. So why wouldn't you take either A, all my daughters, which I'm glad he didn't, because this nigga's weird shit, but also in the same effect, why is it such a strong fixation? Like, all this could have been resolved by just opening our fucking eyes. That's my thing. Like, we would have just been a more observant or had our common sense clicked on, we would have been able to see a whole lot of this shit. But
So for the camping trip, it was the entire family. But for the
okay, that's
Seattle
what.
trip, it was just Jan and his family, which has happened before. And she's gone different places with them before. So I guess they were just kind of like, okay, cool. Me, that's never going to sit right with me.
Yeah, like it's not gonna sit right if you just take one of
Like,
my
why?
kids.
Like, you just want to take this one? What's
Just
that
this
about?
one.
That's weird. I don't like
When
it.
all our kids kind of match up in age. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So, because then after that, if you're taking the rest of my kids, guess who else is going? Moi. I'm going too.
One of the parents, like that common sense kind of should have kicked in at some point. But I feel like sometimes
But
we just
also, I realized that, like, so I was listening to the Elizabeth Smart case the other day whenever she went missing, and she was of the Mormon faith, and I am not here to shit on Mormonism. I don't know enough about the religion, honestly, to say anything about it. I know more about the FLDS because they've been in the news a lot. But as far as like just Mormonism as a whole, I have no idea. But I know that one of their principles is to kind of like see the best in other people, and they're very trusting.
my
Which,
dog.
and I look, I'm
My
here
dog.
with you. I am right
No,
there with
hear
you,
me out.
Eddie.
Hear me out, because you're not understanding. I used to do door-to-door sales, right? And I got the
Okay,
craziest story about them more, like, because remind you,
look, this is going on the internet. Do we need to talk about this
I know.
after?
Not even, because it was like low key. I got kidnapped. I don't even know how the heck this happened.
Oh no!
And this lady,
Oh no,
yeah,
Eddie! How did you
yeah,
get kidnapped?
I'm not gonna lie. I stay getting kidnapped. It just kind of happens.
Do we
However,
need to do
here's
an
what
episode about you? Are you
we
okay?
don't know at this point. I really don't know. However, look, here's what happened. Right. So I went to this lady house, knocked on the door, and she kind of brings me in, and then she's telling me about like her son, who she hasn't seen in like 20 years. And then she pretty much goes on to tell me how like her son pretty much was like he had a crush on this girl. She was in the Mormon faith. Pretty much just transitioned him, took him far, far away, and she's never seen him again. Yeah. And then she goes to like now she went to research the Mormon faith, and then she told me everything that she found, and pretty much went on a shit show about the Mormon faith. It was crazy. It was really crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much like how I got introduced to woman face. And I was like, wow,
That was your
this is a lot.
introduction.
That was my
Um,
introduction and buddy. It was long. She kept me there for an hour and 30 minutes. I was inside this lady's house for an hour and 30 minutes at the height of COVID in California. Remind you, I am from North Carolina, bro. The life is crazy. My life is crazy. But go ahead, continue.
so, anyways, the Mormon people are very trusting. Okay,
They're very
but
kind too.
very kind too. Very kind. Um, so then after that, okay, so you saw him naked. Okay, so it's fall of 72. We're going to take it back one more year because this is 2 years before the kidnapping. This is another thing that was like a like red flag. Okay, this is when the shit started really hitting the fan.
Yeah.
So one day, ring a ding ding, B calls over to Mary Ann, and she asked her if she could bring him a sandwich because he was not going to be able to make it out for lunch and he was starving. Mary Ann thought nothing of it, and she was like, "Yeah, like sure, I can make you something and bring it down to you, no problem." Me, I'd be like, "And where the fuck is your wife?" Because I like, you know what I'm saying? That's just a little weird. Like, I'm not running favors for other people's husbands. I'm just not doing it. I don't care unless like my homegirl asks me, like, say if like my friend and like it's her husband, I'm calling her first. I'm like, girl, your husband just asked me to bring him a sandwich. Like, do you know about this? Is like, this is cool. And if she's like, yeah, yeah, this is cool, because you know people be weird about their man.
Yeah. But we have to remember one thing. We have to remember a very big fact.
What?
She got a crush on this man. She has a big crush on this man.
So you're okay. Never mind.
I
Okay.
already know. I already know that you about to go into it next. But that's
Okay.
that's the reason the sandwich just it makes more and more sense. Go ahead. I'm my bad. Did I stay at London? I ain't even stay at London.
So Berchtold says things to Anne whenever she gets there, and he's eating a sandwich, and they're talking, and he's like, "Wow, you just have a beautiful body, and those legs, wow." And she's, admitted, she's like, like like you kind of cute or whatever. And and then she said it was solidified when the church went on a trip to the mountains, and B again starts flirting with Mary Ann, telling her that she's beautiful and kissing on her and touching her, and then he grabbed her boobs. Mm-hmm. And that's when she said, "Oh, I know that's my man, my baby, my baby." She was like in there. So this is all a tactic to get to Jan. Remember that this man is a predator, so he is going to knock out everything around her just to get to Jan. And he does not give a fuck about Marianne. No, he doesn't think she's beautiful. He wants her daughter. So he's going to go through the mama to get to the child.
And
So,
he already knew, like, here's the thing about, like, confidence and, like, the difference between both of them. Because, like, when she was talking about the two husbands, she said pretty much B was
yeah,
everything she wanted her husband to be within the confidence, within, like, so it's kind of like, imagine you just getting only vanilla for, like, your whole life, and then all of a sudden this person comes in and shows you, like, an extravagant time, like, teases you with what the possibilities of us could be type deal. And it's like, ooh, the fantasy is what she started to live in. And that's
yeah,
what trapped her and made her oblivious to everything else that happened.
this is true.
Oh,
This is true. But after they left, Marianne went home and she just tried to forget about it. And the next day, B was up at Bob's store, and he asked Bob, he's like, "Hey man, hey, like, you want to go for a ride real quick?" And Bob's like, "Okay, I guess, whatever. Yeah, let's get in a car." So everybody pay attention. If you're on YouTube, please, everybody pay attention to Eddie's face right now, please. Okay, because this is about to get good. This reaction is about to be anything. I've been waiting all day for this. So, so B was telling Bob, he's like, "Man, I can't stand my wife, and we haven't had sex in so long." And Bob said he could clearly see that he was aroused. And B said, you know, man, like, come on, could you give me some relief? And he was like, what? No. Like, Bob, what the fuck? And he was like, you know, it's just like kid stuff, you know, like kids. And I don't know anything about that kids was doing that, but apparently that's what kids be doing. I don't know. Not any of the ones that I know. But anyway, Bob reached over and he gave him some relief.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing. 'Cause
Eddie, your face, you're stressed. Oh
I'm not
no.
stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm truly trying to understand what the fuck kind of situation is going the fuck on. Cause me personally, I'm gonna get the fuck out the truck. What the fuck is going on here? Like
Most normal
me
people.
personally, hey look, everybody got their own preference and shit. Cut. Look, once the conversation starts getting a little too, what the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? I have no problem asking motherfucker, what the fuck are we talking about right now? Switch this motherfucker up or something. Cut the radio on. Like that's my thing. None of this shit popped up in this man's head. And see, I'm not. There's words I want to say, but I feel like I'm gonna get canceled, so I just hold my tongue.
Let's just stop. We're,
I
you
hold
know,
my tongue. We just started getting monetized.
we
I hold
just
my
found
tongue.
our community like
Goddamn.
yesterday. Okay, please shut up. I don't want to get canceled.
Hey, man, yeah, please shut up. All right, I'm gonna hold my tongue. But go ahead, man.
So he gave him a little relief, and he admitted later on tape, B said that he got into a homosexual relationship with their father just so he could get to their child. This level of desperation, number one, is just next level weird. Like, what do you mean?
Not gonna lie to you. This is the first, and this like, cause like I said, I watched the show, and when I seen it on the show, I said, "What the fuck is going on?" That's why I wasn't too shocked about what you said, cause I had already seen it, and I said, "So you tell me this motherfucker sleeping with the mom and the dad just to get to the daughter? What the fuck kind of shit is this?" That's some twist. I couldn't watch no more further than that. Cause I like, bro, this is some real twisted, crazy ass shit. And I was like, all right, cool. But now I like, you know what I'm saying? You think about it, I said, bro, when I tell you that the way that he manipulate them, because at the end of the day, where did he meet them? He met them in church. So that means that they share the same community. So now, and everybody knows, and I don't care what denomination, what religion you are, when it comes to cheating, that's a sin. That's one of the biggest sins. Period. Like, we're not even gonna get on the aspect of homosexuality. So he got all of them in a chokehold.
They both realized that in the documentary. They were like, it was not only like they cheated, they were like, I broke my fidelity with my wife, or I broke my fidelity with my husband. And they understood that it was just very, like, they see it, but I think they were just so wrapped up in the moment. Because also, like, I always talk about this. I'm like, so first of all, America is like a sexually repressed country. And I feel like that's why we have so many violent crimes. Like, in other countries, they don't really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, everything is like, sex sells, but in the same breath, you can't have sex because that's bad. You know?
I want to say, actually, I can't agree with that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna agree with that one. I can't agree with that one. I feel
I
like
just
we
noticed,
got,
like, just traveling. Like, when I went to Cuba, like, the women there are just so free. They wear whatever they want, you know, and do sexual, like, crimes happen there? Of course. But also,
yeah.
it's not like something that, you know, if a girl wears, like, a crop top and some booty shorts in Havana, nobody's gonna bat an eye. They're just gonna be like, okay, that girl just living. You know, like
Yeah, I mean,
here,
like, okay, I feel like that's a moral compass versus like where we at, where it's like America has become so radicalized with sex that the kinks of sex has now pushed way past the barriers that we've known before, because people feel like it's kind of like they've been edged on to like, oh, okay, this is okay, so what else could be okay? You know what I'm saying? Like the barriers have become so mushed that it's like now people are just like they're going all the way through with some crazy ass scenarios of things, and which is now why we see so many different. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like prime example, you can't scroll on Twitter right now without sex being there.
Oh God, I
Just
just can't get on Twitter. I'm just
I
trying to
deleted
figure
the app.
out
Me
when
personally, I
Drake's
had to
gonna
delete
drop
the app.
this album. I'm really not trying to see all of this
Yeah,
other. You
like
know what I'm saying?
because like if you consume, there's so much that like if you consume. Now don't get me wrong, like how you talking about like oh yeah, um, like across the countries and different things like that. I feel like yes, they're more okay with the notion of people being like okay in their bodies and different things, but like in America is more so sex. The actual action of sex is pushed so hard that that's the problem. It's not even like the
Now
oh
it
yeah
is,
like
but it
yeah
wasn't
like
always like that. You remember purity culture was a big thing. I'm probably gonna show my age here, but whatever, fuck it.
mhm.
Um, do y'all remember when the Jonas Brothers wore their purity rings back in the day? Like it was a big deal. Like they were wearing purity, like purity culture was pushed so hard. It's don't have sex, don't have sex. Now, if you listen to the Jonas Brothers music, I know like this is not the whole entire band, but one of them brothers is talking about eating cake by the ocean. Child.
Like don't get me, and you know me, I love sex. However, in the same effect, is it too? Has it been pushed too much? I really feel like it has been pushed too much, like to the point where it's like we're seeing rises in like sexual crimes because of it. Because it's like now we have people who's just like okay, it's everywhere. Even the kids can see it. Like this that, and third. There's
Yeah.
no type of
And there's
decorum.
so much easy access to it. Like kids don't, back in the
Yeah,
day, like if you were seeing something dirty, like you had to turn on
you had to
HBO
search
and
for
watch
it.
it between the squiggles, like on the
Yeah, you had to
TV.
go search for that. You really like you was in the grave, like you know what I'm saying. Like your
You in
uncle
the
might have a
trenches.
CD or something, and you just went digging through it and you find his CD. But like now it's just like you
Also,
could
I
just be
think the interesting
online.
fact
Yeah,
is that teenagers are not apparently having sex. Like the younger people, not teenagers, but like the younger people, like in their early 20s and stuff. And that's why like the birth rate is also declining because like teen pregnancies are way down and
I was
women are
about
getting
to say. I was
older.
about to say pregnancies are down does not mean that sex is down.
But they
Those
have
are two
also
different
said
correlations.
sex is down. Like there's a lot like I listened to a whole podcast on it about how like the younger males they have less testosterone and it's because of like I think
I'm
they
about to
said
tell
this
you
could be
what.
like a
It's
societal thing and stuff like that because like when you were younger it was easy for you to go and like make money to get an apartment to have that space or whatever they can't really do that
no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Why sex is down? Porn is easy. Why the heck?
that
Like
too. It's
porn
like
is
why
too
would you go
easy
try you
to
don't have to
get.
do
Like what do you mean? Like from a man standpoint, especially these younger kids who are like, oh yeah, they don't even have like they especially if they're on social media all the time. All we see is these gender wars talking about oh like what it takes to get a woman or XYZ to the point where now you're scared like some of them kids be like, oh yeah, like I don't even feel like going up to talk to women. Don't know how to interact. First of all, they don't know how to interact with women. They don't know how to interact with people in general. That's like let's start there. So then they just be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm about to just go ahead and watch porn, and that releases what I the sex that I want to. So you ain't even working for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, you had to literally had to really mac on a girl, you know what I'm saying? And now
right
it's become to the point that relationships has become transactional. They're being taught that relationships are transactional. It's about what you have, and if you have the money, then you can have any girl you want. So now, not only are they seeing this brutalization of pornography all the time, now they believe that relationships are only transactional. So I can have any girl I want. I just need to buy her. Do you see what I'm
right
saying? Like, there's no
yeah
Mac.
I
There's
get it.
no, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like
People lack connection.
the connection is gone. Like the actual love connection is so far just gone with this generation. It's crazy.
They're
So we
way
have to.
out left right now.
I know, because I know we were supposed to be talking about a case. Right? This should have been some other shit. This the other
It
shit.
should have been some other shit. Like also, like there was a whole thing that I was gonna go because you were talking about kinks and stuff. Apparently, those are genetic. If I had to know that information, so do you.
What?
So, anyways,
Go ahead.
back to the
Go ahead.
case. That just hurt your feelings, I know, but we'll talk about it later.
Wait, I don't know how that would hurt my feelings.
I'll explain later in detail.
Yeah, God about to say you lost me on that one, but go ahead though. I'm listening. I'm listening. Yeah, we back on the case. Back on
Y'all
the
listen
case. But
about
that's my rant for right now on like the younger generation, why they're not having sex, and the weird transactional thing that we see about relationships. Like relationships are not supposed to be as transactional as they make it seem on social media, but now we have brainwashed kids that actually think that it's just great, almost damn near transactional to be in a relationship when it's not about that. But go ahead, let's continue about the case because this should get weirder.
It's about to get so weird. Okay. So I just want okay, so this is something else that's weird. So whenever, they went on that trip or whatever, B comes home and he's reprimanded by the high council of the church, and he starts seeing a psychologist for his condition. This is also where I text my cousin. And Bob said that he needed to spend time with the girls as a part of his exposure therapy. Now, as somebody who knows a little, like a thing or two about psychology, no, where I'm not going where you think I am. I know that
Oh,
exposure therapy is something that can be helpful. Okay. However, if it involves hurting a child or hurting someone else, then exposure therapy is not the thing. And I asked my cousin, Danae, I said,
let's go
Danae,
into exposure therapy because I feel like some people don't know what exposure therapy is.
oh, yes,
Maybe you
exposure
know.
therapy. Okay, so okay. One of my biggest fears, I'm terrified of snakes. You can rob me with a snake, child. I don't hate snakes. But my therapist was like, "Can you at least watch videos of a snake?" And I'm like,
Fuck no.
I could do that. I could do that. Will I ever touch a snake? No. Will I ever want one in my home? No. There are some friends, I love them so dearly, but I know they have a snake in their house. Ken, honestly, that's the reason why I haven't been over your house, friend. I'm terrified of Nkiru. I said it. He has a snake, a python, and I will not go over there.
Me and my mama just had this conversation on we just had this conversation this weekend, and I told her straight up. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna be honest. If a girl ever got a snake, she ain't got to worry about me for real. Like literally, it could be anything in the house. I'll fight a black bear, not a grizzly bear, a black bear that's in the house. If Shawty called me and say, "Hey, there's a black bear in my house," shit, I'm about to be over the way over there. She called me talking about there's a snake. Shit, I don't know. You can stay with me for a couple days. We can call the cops. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Snakes is the only thing. Don't call me and tell me there's a snake in the car because I'm not getting it the fuck out. There could be a puma in the car. I would rather go toe to toe with a damn puma before I go and get in there with a goddamn snake. Fuck no. But go ahead. That's my yeah. Fuck snakes to
Sorry,
this day.
I hear requests and love.
Oh yeah, nah. That was my second rant. Fuck snakes.
Fuck snakes.
We
That's first.
we would still been chilling in the garden eating if it weren't for the damn snake. And y'all motherfuckers want to talk about owning one? Fuck that motherfucker. Barbecue him.
Yeah,
Peter did see it.
I'm not a big fan of the snake at all. But anyways, so I text my cousin and I said, Dene, have you ever heard of a psychiatrist like actually giving exposure therapy for pedophilia for them to be around the child? And she was like, no, that is nothing that man learned in school. That psychiatrist was projecting his own feelings and his own wants and his own desires. She's like, how much you want to bet he ain't got his license no more?
I'm
He ain't got his
gonna say he probably didn't even say it.
He ain't got his license no more. She called that long, like, no. She was like, we're not endangering people. That's not the point of therapy.
I'm gonna be real. I don't even feel like he probably even said it. He got like he probably
He was seeing a
didn't.
therapist, but the
Oh
therapist,
no. Like
huh?
the therapist did not say it. Like I feel like it was one of them things like he done tricked the therapist into
Oh, the
oh so you're
psychiatrist
saying that I
said
should
that. The psychiatrist said that, but his license had been revoked for years. It wasn't a real psychiatrist. he was still practicing without his license. That's another crime.
Jail.
Okay. That's a whole nother other crime.
Jail.
So, exactly, jail. But Bob allows him down in that room, and he let her into the bedroom and lay down in the bed with her. Like, what in the entire actual living fuck? Like, yeah. The whole time here he was taking advantage of the situation. Then Bob's like over here like, I had no idea he was doing any of this shit. I'm like, okay. And also, like, if y'all are hearing this and y'all are listening, if you are on YouTube right now, please drop down in the comments and tell me what you are thinking. I need to know. I need to hear what y'all are thinking about, like, Bob literally being, quote unquote, clueless that this man is down in the basement being a pedophile, you know, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
You might have to edit this out.
I'm gonna just see if I can mute it so that everybody could just see my disappointment. You know?
Oh, you might have to do the. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the beeping noise. I'm gonna look for it though.
You're gonna have to beat that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
I
know I'm jumping around. So let's go back to the trip in October of 1974 where he took her to see the horses and then they never came home. Okay. So that was just a few instances that led up to what is about to happen now. So the first day Jan was missing, on October 17th, while her parents are worried sick at home, she woke up to her arms and legs being strapped down, and she heard a voice. She said it sounded like an alien coming from a speaker. It's about to get weird, y'all. She thought that she had been kidnapped by a UFO. Now remember, this is a young, impressionable girl. Like, she has been sheltered her whole entire life. She's probably watched shows about this or read books about this.
Don't forget, she is deeply in faith, too.
Deeply.
Remember that as she tells what story she gets to hearing.
So, the voice says, "This is your mission, and you're part alien. And she needs to let the male companion perform and have a child by the time she is 16. If she could not perform the mission, then her sister would be taken to perform and complete the mission." They said that she was an alien. She was an alien. Her father is an actual, like, full-on alien, but the father that she has on Earth is not her real father. And her mom is an alien, and she was her real mother. So basically, it's like a really fucked up Bible story. She's like, I thought about it like,
the story of Jesus.
Yeah, like Jesus, his father was God,
Mary.
but Joseph was raising him on earth with Mary. So, like, she starts making that connection, and she starts realizing that maybe this could be possible. So this is a very impressionable young girl. I want to remind y'all that before you go too hard on her. So she sees B, who's bloodied and bruised, and she wakes him up, and he feeds her a bullshit story about how they were driving, and out of nowhere he saw a white light come down out of the sky, and the car was shaking, and they must have been taken by the light. And she tells him about the mission, and he's like, yeah, we better figure this out. Yeah, so he starts pulling out books about sex and doing research like he's never had sex before, even though he has 5 children, but I digress. And then the speaker then comes back and says and it's time to ask the male companion to do what makes people happy.
No, that's where he is sick motherfucker. And I'm about to say, this is where he is sick motherfucker, because he didn't give her the book. Like, notice the subliminal stuff. He doesn't give her the book. He places while she's knocked out and she was tied up, he's pretty much already placed everything how it needs to be. Because he goes ahead and he puts the book in a certain place so that way she sees it when she walks back into the room. She sees it and she's flipping through and she's looking at all these sex positions. It's like one of those sex position books where it's like a whole bunch of different sex positions that you can perform. And she's looking through it, XYZ. The next thing you know, the what's it called? Like the tape recorder comes back on and it
Just in
tells her
time.
the person that you just found out was your male companion, you need to go and do these positions with him. Remind you, he's acting delusional to it too. It's not like he's like, oh yeah, you know, like he's like, wait, did you hear the voices too? Did you see the light? Did you, oh my gosh. Like he is full on acting his ass off with her.
Terrible. But so then he starts doing things. Look, I don't care about none of that.
I'm about to say, yeah, we got part 2. You gotta say something for the part 2 now.
Why are we doing a part 2? We have to jump into these cults. Oh, we might need a part 2.
Yeah, because you have like, I'm about to say, we have a whole second half of this, and we're only at the hour mark.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess. So then, this is where I'll leave you guys off at. So he starts performing an act, and she says that she would just look up at the leaves outside and she would cry and wait for it to be over. So we're going to have to do a part 2, guys, because this is already running at an hour. So we are definitely going to come back. Say what?
There's so much more information.
There's so much more. Like, I just scrolled down on my notes and I was like, holy shit. This is a whole nother episode. So y'all might get y'all's bonus episode after all. We're definitely going to have to come back and record that and record the next case too.
We might just draw 2 episodes for y'all in 1 week. Who knows?
Y'all might get lucky.
Early Christmas.
Yes. Don't say we never did nothing for you. But I do want to take a moment to shout out all of you guys who have been listening and supporting us. We just got ads recently running in our show, so we are super excited about that, and we just ask y'all to please bear with us and listen to the ads. Please don't fast forward through them because that's how we get the monies, okay? And we need the monies. So yes, we are monetized. Woo! Everybody, please, if you listen on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, please also go subscribe to us on YouTube because we are much funnier.
When you see the faces and the reactions, I'm telling you.
Yes, look out for the TikToks that are soon to be coming. It's going to be amazing. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at truecrime_OS, on TikTok at truecrime_OS. Again, on YouTube, we are True Crime and Other Shit. And also, you guys can email us if you have anything that you want to say, questions for us. We would love to answer them. The email is info@truecrimeandothershit.com. Also, please make sure you're commenting on Apple and Spotify and saying how much you love the podcast, because that's how other people discover the podcast as well. So make sure you tell everybody how much you love them, how much you love us, and we love you back. Next week we're doing Tamra Horsford.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we are doing part 2. Are we going to just run like both of them?
Oh, baby. We not.
Go ahead.
We not
we
it out.
pushing them?
Okay.
Pushing them out.
We'll be back with part 2 of this, and we'll be back with the Tamla Horsford case, which takes place in a place that I'm very familiar with. It takes place in Georgia, and it takes place near Lake Lanier. So if you have a fascination with Lake Lanier or any of the stuff that happens in that sundown town out there in Cummings, Georgia, sorry, Maxie, I know you live there, but you know I hate it out there, girl. But it is a sundown town, so we're just going to kind of leave you with that. And we'll take a deep dive for you. But we thank you, and we appreciate you for listening, and we will see you next week. Thank you, and good night.